Welcome to our deep dive into large language models. You've been following along, so we're going to jump right into it. How these models went from simple word predictors to like the AI powerhouses we see today.
Right.
We're dissecting a research paper that maps out this whole evolution
Okay.
from their architecture to their applications, even touching on those mind-blowing emergent abilities.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how we're moving beyond just text generation now with LLMs.
Uh-huh.
They're demonstrating these abilities that even researchers didn't anticipate, like,
It's like they unlock hidden potential as they grow, right? The
Yeah.
paper highlights this scaling law concept,
mm-hmm.
the idea that bigger models and data sets lead to these like unexpected leaps in performance.
Yeah,
What does that even mean for the future of LLMs? What happens when they get even larger?
the scaling law has been a game changer.
Okay.
As we feed these models more data and more computing power,
Yeah.
they're starting to exhibit reasoning and problem-solving skills that were once thought to be exclusive to humans.
Okay, so let's rewind a bit. I know you're excited to get into the cutting edge,
Yeah.
but for our listeners who are just starting to grasp the vastness of LLMs, can we just walk through the basics of how they work?
Of course. Early language models, they relied on statistical methods,
Well,
predicting the next word in a sequence based on the preceding words.
right.
But their understanding of language was limited.
Yeah.
Imagine those sometimes awkward autocomplete suggestions you get on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a simplified example.
Ah, yes, the dreaded autocorrect fails.
Exactly.
But then came the transformer architecture.
Yeah,
It was a revolution, wasn't it?
absolutely. Transformers introduced the concept of attention,
Okay.
allowing the model to analyze relationships between words in a much deeper way, considering entire sentences or even paragraphs for context.
Wow.
It's like reading a book.
Yeah.
You keep the entire story in mind, not just the last word you read.
Right.
That's what attention allows LLMs to do.
So it's not just looking at a word in isolation. It's understanding its role within the bigger picture.
Exactly.
This attention is like giving these models a superpower,
Yeah,
enabling them to grasp the nuances of human language.
that's a great way to put it. And this paved the way for the LLM families we know today, like BERT, T5, and of course the GPT series.
Right, the all-stars of the LLM world.
Yeah,
Each of these models takes a unique approach, doesn't it?
they do.
What are their strengths? What makes them stand out?
Well, BERT, for instance,
Okay.
utilizes a bidirectional approach,
Uh-huh.
examining words both before and after a given word to decipher meaning.
Oh, wow.
This makes it incredibly effective for tasks like question answering and sentiment analysis.
Interesting.
It's like a detective gathering clues from all angles to solve the puzzle of language.
So BERT is the Sherlock Holmes of LLMs.
You could say that.
What about T5? What's its claim to fame?
T5 is the ultimate multitasker.
Okay.
It aims to unify various natural language processing tasks within a text-to-text framework. From translation to summarization,
Uh-huh.
it sees everything as transforming one piece of text into another.
Wow.
This versatility is what makes T5 so remarkable.
Got it. BERT is the detective, T5 is the multitasker, and then we have the rock star of the LLM world, GPT.
Ah, yes. The GPT series Generative Pre-trained Transformer.
Yes.
These models excel at generating human-like text.
Yeah.
Each generation bigger and more powerful than the last. GPT-3 and its successor, GPT-4, have captivated the world with their ability to write anything from stories and poems to even code.
It's mind-boggling.
It is.
They're blurring the lines between human and machine creativity,
Yeah.
but they're not perfect, are they?
No model is perfect.
Right.
Even the most advanced LLMs like GPT-4 can generate inaccurate information or hallucinations, as they're called.
Right.
Their knowledge base is only as good as the data they've been trained on.
That makes sense. Speaking of training, they must be consuming massive amounts of data, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're familiar with the different learning approaches, but when it comes to LLMs, the scale is mind-boggling.
It is.
They're practically learning the patterns of human language from scratch.
They are.
How does that even work, and what are the limitations we need to be aware of?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
LLMs are trained on vast data sets.
Uh-huh.
And these data sets can come from books, articles, websites, social media, practically anywhere language exists.
Oh.
The training process involves techniques like unsupervised, supervised, and semi-supervised learning,
Okay.
all contributing to their ability to understand and generate human-like text.
Could you break down those learning approaches for us?
Certainly.
Okay.
Imagine giving a child a mountain of Legos with no instructions.
Okay.
That's unsupervised learning.
Right.
The model explores the data freely, discovering patterns and relationships on its own.
So it's learning through exploration and experimentation.
Yes.
Like a child discovering the world around them.
Precisely. Now imagine giving that child a Lego set with detailed instructions.
Okay.
That's supervised learning.
Right.
We provide the model with labeled data, where each piece of text is tagged with specific information.
Oh.
For example, we might label a sentence as positive or negative in sentiment.
So it's learning by example,
Yeah.
following a set of guidelines to understand the nuances of language.
Exactly. And then there's semi-supervised learning, a blend of the two.
Okay.
Imagine giving the child a few Lego instruction manuals and then a huge pile of unsorted Legos.
Okay.
The model has to leverage the labeled data to make sense of the unlabeled data, figuring out the rules and patterns on its own.
That's fascinating. It's like learning by combining instruction with independent exploration.
It is.
Okay, let's circle back to that transformer architecture.
Okay.
We talked about attention, but the paper also mentions encoders and decoders.
Right.
What are those all about?
Think of the encoder as the reader, processing the input text and creating a representation of its meaning. Okay. It's like taking notes, highlighting the key takeaways from a book.
So the encoder is essentially digesting and understanding the text.
Exactly. Then comes the decoder, the writer,
Okay.
which uses the encoder's representation to generate the output text,
Oh.
words, sentences, or even entire paragraphs.
So the encoder reads and understands.
Yes.
And the decoder writes based on that understanding.
Exactly.
And attention.
Yeah.
Is that superpower helping both of them do their jobs better, ensuring the output is coherent and relevant?
You've got it. But these models are capable of so much more than just generating text.
Right.
They're demonstrating emergent abilities that are truly mind-blowing,
Okay.
performing tasks they weren't specifically trained for, which leads to some interesting questions about how these models are thinking.
This is where we get into the really exciting stuff, right?
Yes.
Tell me more about these surprising abilities.
One striking example is in-context learning, or ICL.
Okay.
This is an LLM's capacity to learn from examples provided directly in the prompt without requiring additional training.
Oh, wow.
Imagine giving the model a few translated sentences, and it suddenly grasps the concept of translation.
Wow.
It's almost like it's thinking its way through the problem.
That's incredible.
It is.
So it's not just mimicking what it's seen, it's learning and adapting in real time.
Exactly.
What other fascinating abilities are emerging from these LLMs?
Another one is chain of thought, or copy, reasoning.
Okay.
This is an LLM's ability to break down complex problems into logical steps, just like a human would.
Interesting.
It's not jumping to an answer, it's reasoning through the problem. And there's a hypothesis that training LLMs on code might be the key to unlocking this ability.
So by learning from code,
Yes.
which is inherently structured and logical,
Right.
these models are developing more human-like reasoning skills.
That seems to be the case.
Right.
And building upon COTI is program of thoughts, or POTI,
Okay.
where the LLM actually creates a program to solve a problem. This is particularly helpful for math-heavy tasks where a structured program can ensure accurate calculations.
It's like these LLMs are developing a whole toolkit of cognitive skills.
They are.
And these skills are being applied to real-world problems, aren't they?
Absolutely. LLMs are already being used in various fields, from healthcare to finance to education.
The healthcare applications are clearly groundbreaking. But I'm curious, how does this translate to a field like finance, where data is king? Can LLMs truly outsmart human analysts?
Well, it's fascinating to see how they're being applied in finance. Imagine an LLM that can analyze vast amounts of financial data, like news articles, market trends, company filings, to identify patterns and predict market movements, all at a speed and scale no human could match.
It's like having a Wall Street guru in your pocket?
Yeah.
But are we talking about replacing human analysts altogether?
Not necessarily. Remember, LLMs are tools,
Right.
not replacements for human expertise. They can assist analysts, helping them make more informed decisions. But ultimately, human judgment is still crucial in navigating the complexities of financial markets.
So it's more about collaboration than competition.
Yeah.
What are some specific examples of LLMs making waves in finance?
One prominent example is Bloomberg GPT,
Okay.
developed by, well, Bloomberg.
Okay, that was not surprising. Bloomberg is all about data, so it makes sense they'd be at the forefront of this technology.
Yeah.
What can Bloomberg GPT actually do?
It can analyze market trends, assess risk, even generate predictions about stock prices. It's a powerful tool for anyone working in finance, from analysts to investors.
I bet it's causing quite a stir on Wall Street. But as you said, it's important to use it responsibly. No model can predict the future with 100% certainty, right?
Exactly. Financial markets are influenced by countless factors, many of them unpredictable. LLMs can provide valuable insights, but human judgment is still paramount in making sound financial decisions.
Okay, that's a good reminder. Now let's switch gears to healthcare. We touched on this earlier, but I'm curious to delve deeper into how LLMs are being used to improve patient care and assist medical professionals.
It's a rapidly evolving field. One impressive example is MedPolem,
Okay.
developed by Google. It's based on their massive Polem model, which boasts over 500 billion parameters.
500 billion parameters. That's mind-boggling. What kind of medical expertise can a model that size actually possess?
MedPolem has been fine-tuned on an immense dataset of medical texts and code,
Wow.
making it incredibly knowledgeable about all things healthcare.
Okay.
It can answer complex medical questions, offer insights into diagnoses and treatment options, even summarize research papers.
It sounds like having a medical expert at your fingertips 204/7. What are the implications of this technology for doctors, researchers, and even patients themselves?
The potential is immense. Imagine a doctor being able to quickly consult an LLM to confirm a diagnosis, explore alternative treatment options, or stay up to date on the latest medical research. It could significantly enhance their decision-making and improve patient outcomes.
It's like having a superpowered medical consultant right there in the exam room. But as with finance, it's important to remember that these LLMs are tools to assist medical professionals, not replace them.
Precisely. Human judgment, empathy, and the doctor-patient relationship remain essential in providing quality healthcare. LLMs can augment these aspects, not substitute them.
Okay, we've talked about finance and healthcare. What about education? How are LLMs being utilized in the classroom and beyond?
In education, LLMs are already being employed to personalize learning experiences, provide automated feedback on student work, and even detect plagiarism.
Wow.
Imagine an LLM that can analyze a student's writing and offer tailored suggestions for improvement,
Okay.
focusing on grammar style clarity and even the strength of their arguments.
It's like having a personal writing tutor available 24/7. That could be transformative for students at all levels,
Yeah.
from elementary school to university.
Absolutely. And LLMs can also be used to develop adaptive learning platforms that tailor the learning experience to each student's individual pace and style,
Wow.
revolutionizing the way we approach education.
It's like having a customized curriculum for every student, helping them learn more effectively and efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
And what about teachers? Can LLMs assist them as well?
Of course. LLMs can help teachers with tasks like grading lesson planning and even generating personalized learning materials. This frees up their time to focus on what they do best: mentoring students, fostering creativity, and creating an engaging learning environment.
So it's not about replacing teachers, but empowering them with tools to enhance their teaching. That
Yeah.
sounds like a win-win for both students and educators.
Exactly. And beyond these specific fields, LLMs are being applied in countless other areas, from customer service to marketing to creative writing. The possibilities are truly endless.
It seems like every industry is finding ways to leverage the power of LLMs. But let's step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture. We've talked about how LLMs are being used to solve real-world problems, but they're also pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible with artificial intelligence. We're talking about machines that can reason, write, translate, even code. It's almost like science fiction becoming reality.
It is a remarkable time to be witnessing this technological revolution. But with this power comes responsibility as we
Right.
continue to develop more advanced LLMs.
Yeah.
It's crucial that we consider the ethical implications of this technology.
That's an important point. It's not just about what these models can do,
Right.
but how we ensure they're used responsibly and ethically. What are some of the key concerns we need to be mindful of?
One major concern is the potential for bias.
Okay.
Remember, LLMs are trained on vast amounts of data.
Right.
And if that data reflects existing societal biases, the model might perpetuate those biases in its outputs.
That's a valid concern. If the data is skewed, the model's outputs might be skewed as well. How can we mitigate this risk and ensure these powerful tools are used fairly and equitably?
It's a complex challenge, but there are several approaches being explored.
Okay.
One is to carefully curate the training data, ensuring it's as diverse and representative as possible. Another is to develop techniques for detecting and mitigating bias in the model itself, even after it's been trained.
So it's a multi-pronged approach, addressing bias both in the data and in the model itself.
Mm.
What about privacy and security? Are there concerns about how LLMs might handle sensitive information?
Absolutely.
You-
As LLMs become more integrated into our lives, it's crucial that we ensure they handle personal data responsibly and securely. This includes developing robust privacy policies,
Right.
implementing strong security measures, and being transparent about how data is used.
So it's about building trust and accountability into these systems.
Yes.
Users need to feel confident that their information is being handled ethically and securely. What other ethical considerations are on the horizon as this technology continues to evolve?
Another key consideration is transparency. As LLMs become more sophisticated,
Yeah.
it can be challenging to understand how they arrive at their conclusions.
Right.
This lack of transparency can be problematic, particularly in high-stakes situations where we need to be able to understand the reasoning behind the model's outputs.
It's like a black box.
Yeah.
We know what goes in and what comes out, but we don't always understand the process in between. How can we address this challenge and make LLMs more transparent and interpretable?
Researchers are actively working on this,
Okay.
developing techniques for visualizing and explaining the decision-making processes of LLMs. The goal is to create models that are not only powerful but also understandable, allowing us to trust their outputs and use them effectively.
So it's about shining a light inside the black box, so to speak, making the inner workings of these models more accessible to humans. That seems crucial for building trust and ensuring these powerful tools are used responsibly.
It is. And as we continue to explore the potential of LLMs, we need to have these ethical considerations at the forefront of our minds. It's not just about technological advancement, it's about ensuring that these advancements benefit humanity as a whole.
Well said. It seems like we're on the cusp of a new era, one where artificial intelligence is playing an increasingly prominent role in our lives. And as we navigate this new landscape, it's important to remember that we have the power to shape the future of this technology, ensuring that it's used for good and not for harm.
I completely agree. It's both an exciting and challenging time. We have the opportunity to harness the power of LLMs to solve global challenges, enhance our lives, and unlock new possibilities. But we also have the responsibility to guide the development of this technology in a way that aligns with our values and ensures a positive future for all.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, from the technical details of LLMs to their wide-ranging applications and the ethical considerations we need to address. It's clear that this technology is transformative, and its impact will be felt in every aspect of our lives. What's next for LLMs? What are the researchers excited about? What breakthroughs are on the horizon?
One area generating a lot of buzz is retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
RAG again. We've touched on this a few times. It's clearly a big deal. Remind us why. What's so special about RAG?
It's like giving LLMs a supercharged internet connection.
So instead of just relying on their internal knowledge, they can pull in real-time information to answer questions, generate text, even fact-check themselves. That sounds like a game changer.
Exactly. This addresses those concerns about hallucinations and outdated knowledge.
Right.
With RAG, LLMs become more accurate, reliable, and adaptable to the ever-changing world of information.
It's like they're constantly learning and evolving just like us. I'm seeing a future where these models are not just tools, but collaborators working alongside us to tackle complex challenges and push the boundaries of human knowledge.
I share your enthusiasm. The possibilities are incredibly exciting, but the paper also highlights the ongoing quest to equip LLMs with common sense reasoning.
Right.
It's something we humans do effortlessly,
Yeah.
but it's proven remarkably difficult to replicate in machines.
It's one of those things you don't realize is so complex until you try to teach it to a computer.
Yeah.
What progress is being made in that area? How are researchers trying to instill common sense reasoning in these LLMs?
Researchers are training LLMs on data sets specifically designed to teach them common sense knowledge.
Okay.
Think everyday scenarios like, if you drop a glass, it will likely break.
Okay.
By exposing these models to countless examples of cause and effect, social norms, and basic physics, they're starting to develop a rudimentary understanding of the world around us.
So it's like teaching them the basic rules of the game, the unwritten knowledge that guides our actions and interactions every day.
Exactly. As LLMs grasp these common sense concepts, they can interact with us in a more natural and intuitive way, understanding our intentions and responding in a manner that feels more human-like.
It's both fascinating and a little unsettling to think about machines developing a form of social intelligence.
Yeah.
Where do you see this leading? What are the long-term implications of LLMs that can reason, plan, and even understand social dynamics?
It's a profound question, and one that researchers, ethicists, and policymakers are grappling with as we speak.
Yeah.
As LLMs become more integrated into our lives, we need to be mindful of their impact on our social norms, relationships, and even our sense of self.
It's like we're entering uncharted territory,
Yeah,
a new era of human-machine collaboration that raises profound questions about what it means to be human in a world increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence.
indeed. But remember, these LLMs are tools that we create and control. We have the power to guide their development, ensuring they're used in ways that benefit humanity as a whole.
Okay, that's reassuring. As we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway you'd like to leave our listener with? What's the one thing you hope they'll remember from this exploration of LLMs?
LLMs represent a profound advancement in artificial intelligence, one with the potential to reshape our world in countless ways. They offer solutions to complex challenges, spark creativity, and open up new frontiers of knowledge. But with this power comes responsibility. As we continue to explore the potential of LLMs, we need to proceed thoughtfully, ethically, and with a deep understanding of their implications for our society and for humanity as a whole.
Beautifully put. It's an exciting time to be alive, witnessing this technological revolution unfold before our very eyes.
Mhm.
And as these LLMs continue to evolve, I'm sure we'll have many more deep dives uncovering new breakthroughs, grappling with new challenges, and exploring the ever-expanding landscape of artificial intelligence.
I look forward to it. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.
This has been a truly fascinating journey into the world of LLMs. For our listener, we've only scratched the surface. There's a universe of information out there waiting to be explored. But perhaps the most intriguing question is, as machines become better thinkers, what does that mean for us humans? Are we on the brink of a new era of intelligence, or are we handing over our cognitive skills to algorithms? It's something to ponder as we continue to navigate this uncharted territory. Until next time, keep diving deep.